ballroom went silent. 200 guests in designer gowns and tailored tuxedos turned to stare. Standing in the doorway was a little girl, maybe 8 years old. Her dress was 3 sizes too big, clearly pulled from a donation bin. Her shoes didn't match. Her hair was tangled, but her
You're a
voice
liar!
steady as steel. Vanessa Caldwell, the millionaire's sister, draped in a gown worth $60,000. Diamonds sparkling at her neck, turned slowly, her champagne glass frozen halfway to her lips. "Excuse me?" The little girl walked into the ballroom, past security guards too shocked to move, past waiters holding silver trays, right up to the stage, where Vanessa had just finished a speech about her charitable work with homeless children. "I said you're a liar," the girl repeated. She pulled a crumpled piece of paper from her pocket. "This is the speech you just gave. Want to know how I know? Because you gave the exact same speech 6 months ago, and a year before that. Same words, same promises, same lies." Vanessa's face turned red. "Security, my name is Lily," the girl interrupted, her voice carrying across the silent ballroom. "And 6 months ago, you promised my mom you'd help us. You took pictures with us for your Instagram. You told everyone you were personally funding housing for families like ours." She looked around at the crowd of wealthy donors staring at her. "Want to know what actually happened? She never gave us a single dollar. My mom died 3 months ago in a homeless shelter, while Vanessa Caldwell was on vacation in the Maldives, posting pictures with the hashtag blessed and giving back." Lily held up her phone, a cracked, ancient device that barely worked. "I have proof, emails, text messages, photos, everything. And tonight, everyone's going to know the truth about who you really are." Welcome to Vicatale, where real stories meet real truth. If you're new here, please subscribe, like, and comment blessed so more people can find this message. To my loyal subscribers, God bless you. You're the backbone of this channel. Please comment, like, and share so these stories reach those who need them. In the affluent community of Thornhill Estates, there lived a woman who had perfected the art of looking generous while being cruel. Her name was Vanessa Caldwell. She was the younger sister of Preston Caldwell, a tech entrepreneur whose company had revolutionized cloud storage solutions and made him a billionaire before age 40. Preston's success story was legendary: kid from a middle-class family who coded his first program at 14 and built an empire by 30. But Vanessa, she built something entirely different. She'd built a brand. At Vanessa Cares had 2.3 million followers on Instagram. Her feed was a carefully curated collection of inspirational quotes, luxury lifestyle shots, and photos of her charity work. Her bio read, "Philanthropist, advocate for homeless children, living my purpose, hashtag blessed to give back every month." She hosted fundraising galas at the Caldwell Foundation headquarters, a stunning glass building in downtown Thornhill that Preston had built and named after their late parents. The events attracted the city's elite: real estate developers, tech executives, old money families, politicians. Vanessa would stand on stage in designer gowns, diamonds glittering under spotlights, and deliver speeches that brought people to tears. "When I see a child sleeping on the streets," she'd say, her voice trembling with practiced emotion, "I see my own childhood. My brother and I know what it's like to struggle. And that's why I've dedicated my life to making sure no child suffers the way we did." It was a beautiful lie. Preston and Vanessa had grown up in a comfortable suburban home. Their father was an accountant. Their mother taught elementary school. They'd never been wealthy, but they'd never been homeless either. But Vanessa had discovered something powerful. People with money loved feeling good about themselves, and if you could make them feel like heroes while they sipped champagne and networked, they'd write enormous checks. The Caldwell Foundation raised millions every year, and Vanessa lived like royalty on the administrative expenses. Her penthouse overlooked the city from the 42nd floor of Thornhill Tower, 14-foot ceilings, walls of windows, furniture that cost more than most people's annual salaries. She employed a staff of 7, a personal assistant, a social media manager, a publicist, a chef, 2 housekeepers, and a driver. But the most important person on her payroll was Monica Torres. Monica was Vanessa's executive director of operations, a title that sounded impressive, but essentially meant she did whatever Vanessa needed to maintain the illusion of charity while funneling money into Vanessa's lifestyle. Monica had worked for Vanessa for 6 years. She was 43 years old, divorced, with a teenage son who had cerebral palsy. The medical bills were crushing. Vanessa paid her well enough to keep her loyal and desperate enough to stay quiet. "We have the spring gala next month," Vanessa said one morning, scrolling through her phone while Monica stood in her living room holding a tablet. "I need you to find me 3 homeless families for photo opportunities. Clean ones, Monica. I don't want anyone who looks too rough. Find me a photogenic single mother with a cute kid. Someone who'll make people cry when I post about changing lives." Monica's fingers moved across her tablet, taking notes. "Of course, I'll coordinate with the shelter downtown and make sure they sign the release forms," Vanessa added, not looking up from her phone. "I don't want any problems later with people claiming we exploited them." "Already in the standard package," Monica assured her. "Good." Vanessa finally looked up. "Also, I'm thinking of doing a video series. A day in my philanthropic life or something. Very authentic, very raw. Show me visiting shelters, talking to families, really connecting. Can you scout locations that look impactful but aren't, disgusting?" Monica nodded, her expression neutral. "I'll have options by end of week." This was how it worked. Vanessa would stage photo opportunities with homeless families, post them with captions about her hands-on approach to charity, and her followers would flood the comments with praise. The families would receive a small gift card, maybe $50, and a promise that the foundation is working on long-term solutions for you. The long-term solutions never materialized. But the photos lived forever on Vanessa's Instagram, generating engagement, attracting donors, building her brand. 6 months earlier, Monica had found a perfect family for Vanessa's feed. Rachel Morrison and her 80-year-old daughter, Lily. Rachel had been an emergency room nurse before a car accident left her with chronic back pain. The opioids prescribed for pain management led to addiction. The addiction led to job loss. Job loss led to eviction. Within 18 months, Rachel and Lily were living in Rachel's 15-year-old Honda Civic, parking in different lots each night to avoid being noticed. Monica had found them at a community meal program run by a local church. Rachel was 32 years old, still beautiful despite exhaustion, and Lily was articulate, well-behaved, with big expressive eyes that photographed beautifully. Perfect. Monica had approached Rachel with the offer. "Ms. Caldwell would like to feature your story as part of our awareness campaign. We'll provide a hotel room for a week while we film, give you a $500 gift card, and help connect you with resources." Rachel had been skeptical. "What kind of filming?" "Just some photos and short video clips," Monica had explained. "Ms. Caldwell meeting you, talking about your situation, expressing her commitment to helping. Very tasteful, very respectful." Rachel had looked at Lily, who'd been sleeping in a car backseat for 3 months. "And you'll help us find housing?" "The foundation works with several housing programs," Monica had said, which was technically true. "The foundation sent token donations to housing non-profits annually. We'll absolutely connect you with resources." Rachel had agreed. The photo shoot had been elaborate. A professional photographer, professional lighting, a videographer for behind-the-scenes content. Vanessa had arrived in designer jeans and a simple white blouse, her relatable casual look with her makeup artist in tow to ensure she looked natural but glowing. She'd sat with Rachel and Lily in the hotel room, holding Lily's hand while the camera clicked. "Tell me about your dreams, sweetie," Vanessa had said to Lily, her voice warm and maternal. Lily, 8 years old and exhausted, had answered honestly, "I just want a home, and I want my mum to stop being sad." The photographer had captured Vanessa's expression of heartbreak. The tears welling in her eyes had been real. She'd gotten very good at crying on command. Later, in the car back to her penthouse, Vanessa had scrolled through the photos on her phone. "These are perfect," she'd told Monica. "That little girl's face is going to break hearts. Make sure we get the release forms signed before they check out tomorrow." "Already done," Monica had confirmed. The posts had gone viral. Vanessa's story about meeting brave little Lily and her mother Rachel got 847 Sarazol likes, 23 Sarazol shares, and generated $340,000 in donations to the Caldwell Foundation within 72 hours. In the caption, Vanessa had written, "Met this incredible family today. Lily, 8, and her mom Rachel have been experiencing homelessness for months, but their spirit is unbreakable. I promised them we would help, and I meant it. The Caldwell Foundation is committed to finding them stable housing and getting Rachel the support she needs. This is why we do this work. #homelessness awareness, #every child deserves, #Vanessa cares. The comments had been overwhelming. You're an angel, Vanessa, smiling face with halo. This is why I donate to your foundation every month. Lily's eyes broke my heart. Thank you for helping them. The world needs more people like you. Folded red. Rachel and Lily's week in the hotel had ended. They'd been given their $500 gift card and a folder of resources, photocopied flyers for shelters and food banks, most of which they'd already tried. Monica had promised to follow up about housing. The follow-up never came. Rachel had called the foundation 17 times over the next 3 weeks. Each time she'd been told, someone will get back to you. No one did. Eventually, the phone number was disconnected. When Rachel showed up at the foundation headquarters in person, security wouldn't let her past the lobby. Ms. Caldwell doesn't take walk-in appointments, the guard had said, but she promised, "Ma'am, I'm going to need you to leave or I'll call the police." Rachel had left, defeated. She'd used the $500 gift card on gas and food. Within 6 weeks, the money was gone and they were back to sleeping in the car. If this story is making you angry, you're not alone. Drop a comment right now telling us about a time someone broke a promise to you. We read every single one. And if you haven't already, smash that like button because this story needs to reach people who think charity is just about looking good on Instagram. By late summer, Rachel's back pain had worsened. She couldn't afford the medication she needed. The addiction that she'd been managing through sheer willpower began pulling her under again. She'd been trying so hard, working day labor jobs when she could find them, keeping Lily clean and fed and in school. But the pain was relentless, and the pills were the only thing that made it bearable. By October, she'd been hospitalized for an overdose. By November, Rachel Morrison was dead. Lily had been placed in emergency foster care. The system was overwhelmed, as it always was. Lily was moved between 3 different homes in 6 weeks. Each one was crowded, chaotic, temporary. The third home, the Hendersons, was run by an older couple who took in foster children, primarily for the monthly stipend. They weren't cruel, but they weren't particularly kind either. Lily was one of 5 kids crammed into a 3-bedroom house. She slept on a mattress on the floor in a room she shared with 2 other girls, and every night before she fell asleep, she thought about her mother, about the hotel room with clean sheets and hot water, about Vanessa Caldwell holding her hand for the cameras, about the promises. "We're going to help you, I promise." Lily hadn't understood much about social media or philanthropy or fundraising, but she understood promises, and she understood lies. One evening, while doing homework at the public library, the only quiet place she could study, Lily had logged into the ancient laptop the school had lent her and searched for Vanessa Caldwell's Instagram. The photos were still there. Lily and her mother smiling in that hotel room, Vanessa holding Lily's hand, the caption about promises and commitment, and below it, thousands of comments praising Vanessa for her generosity. Lily had scrolled through Vanessa's more recent posts. Pictures from Paris, pictures from a yacht, pictures from red carpet events, pictures at charity galas where Vanessa wore gowns that cost more than most people earned in a year. And then Lily had seen something that made her breath catch, a post from 2 weeks ago. Vanessa at another fundraising event, giving a speech. In the caption, she'd written, "Honored to speak tonight about our ongoing work with homeless families. When I met brave little Lily and her mother 6 months ago, I made a promise. I'm so grateful to report that the Caldwell Foundation successfully placed them in permanent housing, and Rachel is now enrolled in job training. This is what your donations make possible." Blue heart, #transforming lives, #homelessness to hope. Lily had stared at the screen. Her mother was dead. They'd never received housing. There had been no job training. Every word was a lie. And 934,000 people had liked it. Something had shifted in Lily that night. She'd spent her whole life being powerless, being moved around, being told what to do, where to go, what she couldn't have. She'd watched her mother fight systems that didn't care. She'd learned that being small and poor meant being invisible. But this lie, this public, profitable lie about her mother, made her realize something important. Vanessa Caldwell's power came from her reputation. from the illusion that she cared, and illusions could be shattered. Lily had started documenting everything. She'd created a new email account under a fake name. She'd gone through every single post Vanessa had made about homeless families over the past 3 years. She'd screenshot them all. Then she'd started researching. The public library had computers and internet access. Lily had hours after school before she had to be back at the Hendersons' house. She'd used that time to become an investigator. She'd found news articles about the Coldwell Foundation's tax filings, which were public record. The foundation raised an average of $4.2 million annually, but according to the filings, only 11% of that money went to actual charitable programs. The rest went to administrative costs, operational expenses, and awareness campaigns, which essentially meant Vanessa's salary, her staff, her events, her lifestyle. Lily had found other families Vanessa had photographed. Using reverse image search, something she'd learned from a YouTube tutorial, she'd tracked down faces from Vanessa's Instagram and found their real stories on GoFundMe pages, local news articles, and public Facebook posts. Every single one told the same story: promises made, photos taken, nothing delivered. A single mother named Jennifer, who'd been featured in Vanessa's Mother's Day tribute post, was still living in a shelter a year later. A father named Marcus, who'd been highlighted during Homelessness Awareness Week, had died from untreated diabetes 6 months after Vanessa posed with him. A teenage girl named Tasha, who'd been part of Vanessa's back-to-school drive, had aged out of foster care without ever receiving the scholarship support Vanessa claimed to provide. Lily had compiled everything into a folder on the library computer: screenshots, links, timelines, names, dates. She taught herself how to download videos from Instagram using free online tools. She'd saved every speech Vanessa had given, and she'd noticed something. Vanessa used the exact same speech, word for word, at multiple events. The personal story about her own struggles, identical across 17 different galas. The promise to do better, copy and paste. The emotional pause before saying, "Every child deserves dignity," choreographed and repeated. Lily had created a document comparing the speeches side by side. The evidence was undeniable. And then Lily had started planning. The Coldwell Foundation's annual Spring Gala was the biggest event of the year. 200 guests, live auction, media coverage, local news cameras. Vanessa would be there, of course, on stage, giving her speech, collecting praise. Lily had checked the event details online. It was being held at the Thornhill Grand Hotel ballroom. Tickets were $500 per person. Obviously, Lily didn't have a ticket, but she'd learned something important during her months of being invisible. People don't notice children, especially poor children. They look past them, through them. She could use that. The night of the Spring Gala, Lily had told the Hendersons she was studying late at the library for a school project. They'd barely looked up from the television. "Be back by 9. "Yes, Mom." Lily had left the house wearing the best clothes. She owned a dress from the donation bin at church that was too big, shoes that didn't quite fit, her hair pulled back as neatly as she could manage. She'd taken 2 buses to downtown Thornhill. The Thornhill Grand Hotel rose 30 stories above the city, its glass facade reflecting the sunset. Luxury cars lined the circular drive. Men in tuxedos and women in gowns stepped out, greeted by hotel staff. Lily had walked past the main entrance and around to the side of the building, where she'd spotted a service entrance she'd researched on Google Maps weeks earlier. A delivery truck was unloading supplies for the event. Catering staff moved in and out, carrying boxes, pushing carts. Lily had slipped in behind a woman carrying a tray of champagne glasses. No one stopped her. Inside, she'd navigated through service corridors, following the sound of music and voices. She'd learned the layout of the hotel from online floor plans. She knew exactly where the ballroom was. When she'd reached the staff access door to the ballroom, she'd waited. Timing was everything. Inside the ballroom, Vanessa Coldwell stood on stage, bathed in spotlight. She wore a floor-length emerald gown that had cost $62,000. Her hair and makeup had taken 3. Diamonds glittered at her ears, throat, and wrists, borrowed from a jeweler for the evening, worth approximately $400,000. She looked like success, like generosity, like someone who cared. "When I see a child sleeping on the streets," Vanessa said, her voice trembling with practiced emotion. "I see my own childhood. My brother and I know what it's like to struggle." The audience of 200 wealthy donors listened raptly. "That's why I've dedicated my life to making sure no child suffers the way we did. That's why the Caldwell Foundation exists." She paused, letting the emotion build. "6 months ago, I met a brave little girl named Lily and her mother Rachel. They were experiencing homelessness, living in their car, struggling every day, and I made them a promise." Vanessa,